How's it going, everybody? Welcome into a brand new video. As you know, Drampa did gain access to Swift in the most recent season update, so I wanted to try it in the Ultra League. Drampa's been one of my favorite Pokemon designs for quite a while because it looks almost exactly like that one thing from that one movie. I know you remember what I'm talking about.
All right, hang on tight.
Yeah, basically that. Well, let's see how we can do. We're gonna bring Gastrodon and Lapras to complement this team, and let's check out these battles. I'm definitely excited for a shift into the Ultra League. I don't think that Drampa is the best dragon. I don't think it's remotely close to being the best dragon, but I wanted to try it because it was gonna be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and jump right into game number one. Gastrodon lead into Shadow, Alolan, Sandslash. I'm telling you, I've got a few staples on the channel. The first is that I like to play Guzzlord. The second is that in Ultra League, Gastrodon is almost undefeated. It's such a good Pokemon. Sandslash throws the Ice Punch, but staying in is a little bit curious. They're going to go into Feraligatr. I go into the Drampa. Now, normally, a Water versus a Dragon type is going to be advantageous. Let's see how much a Shadow Ice Beam does. Oh my gosh, it literally one-shots our Drampa, so really that was not a good situation to be in whatsoever. Going forward, I'm definitely going to bring Lapras into the Feraligatr safe swaps. Going to bring in my Drip Lapras with a nice bow tie. It is Rocky's Skull Bash. I do like that moveset a lot in Ultra, but I think you could go either way with Ice Beam. I'm going to build up a lot of energy. Opponent throwing another charge attack. We know this is not Crunch because they didn't build up the energy for it, and we wouldn't be too worried either way. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Sparkling Aria, Sparkling Aria into the Tentacruel now, and then going to make the swap back into Gastrodon, and it's making a lot of sense why our opponent did not switch out of that Alolan Sandslash lead because they were ABA Week 2 Mud Slap, which is a really tough thing to do in the Ultra League. Our Earth Power does get shielded, but I'm feeling pretty confident about the situation, especially after we get off that additional Mud Slap right there. Opponent throws the Scald, we shield that up. Gonna just straight YOLO this Earth Power, just keep on hammering the opponent with these. Second one coming through does actually connect. Now I anticipate the Sandslash will come back in, and here it is. Gonna throw 3 Mud Slaps and then the Body Slam. I don't know if we'll get the shield or not. I think at this point the opponent is likely to shield, and they do. Gonna throw one more Mud Slap through, but the opponent does have the charge attack, so I'm going to kind of cut my losses here and absorb the Ice Punch, come in with the Lapras, avoid the swap, and I throw into the swap anyway. I knew it was coming. It's one of those things where it's so obvious and you feel like you should expect it and anticipate it, but I still make the mistake. Luckily though, I still had the shield, so even if this Sandslash got through us, we'd be able to shield and then fire off the Sparkling Aria to pick up our game 1 victory. So Drampa against Ice, not a good time at all. We're gonna see Cradily in this next battle. Of course, we gotta get out of here. This is a really tough situation to be in. Gonna swap now into the Lapras. Lapras lined up against the Cradily. This is one of the tough parts about the team, right? I've got 2 water types. They're really going to struggle against the Cradily. Opponent swaps now into Dusknoir, and we know this Pokemon has Dynamic Punch, so we do not want to get hit by that. However, I don't want to give up my second shield either, so pretty tough situation to be in. Because of the Rock Tomb debuff as well, our Sparkling Aria barely does anything to that Dusknoir, so it's a little bit tricky. Second Surf does connect. I actually am running, I keep saying Sparkling Aria. This is a Surf Lapras, so my TM deficit is never more present than it is now. I need to just go out and do a bunch of raids, so bear with me. In the future videos, I will have more TMs. If you ever wonder what Surf and Psywave Lapras looks like, here's a good example. Gonna bring in now the Drampa into the Dusknoir. I do not want to take a Dynamic Punch. Luckily, we're able to farm all the way down, which is super nice. Opponent comes in with the Glaring Weezing, then counter swaps back into the Cradily. So as you can tell, against the Glaring Weezing, we're in real trouble. This Pokemon might bait the Rock Tomb, but no, they YOLO the Grass Knot straight away. That's a really tough spot to be in. Gonna go ahead and throw the charge attack here. I'm gonna throw the Fly. So Drampa does have Fly and Swift. It also has access to, I think it's Dragon Pulse. Gonna go ahead and absorb this charge attack. I mean, at this point, I'm Dragon in normal. Rock Tomb still does a ton of damage though, and I'm really not impressed with Drampa's bulk whatsoever. It's very flimsy. Opponent does have that Glaring Weezing in the back, which is basically full health. But I want to see just how far I can push this matchup. Opponent comes in with the Weezing. Gonna throw 1 single Dragon Breath into the Fly. I don't know if we'll get to a second one. Fly barely does anything, especially after the Rock Tomb debuff, and that was a tough loss in game number 2. So It does feel really fun when you line things up correctly, but with the Drampa, you really do have a lot of weaknesses. Next battle, we're gonna see a Pangoro come in here, and I really wanna make sure that my Gastrodon can handle this Pokemon, so I shield up the close combat. Opponent swaps now into the Feraligatr. And you know what? I said I wasn't gonna swap Drampa into Feraligatr, but we're gonna try it a second time. Again, should have gone Lapras, but here we are. Ice Beam does get Shadow this time. Opponent is gonna need several more Shadow Claws to get to the second Ice Beam. Gonna throw the Swift here to try to pick up the KO. Now the one nuance here is that Pangoro is running Karate Chop, so it's not gonna deal a lot of damage, but there's another freaking Galarian Wheezing in the back. So a little bit tough. If I would have brought in the Lapras here, I guess the Pangoro would have come out and this Drampa would have seen the Wheezing anyway, but we're gonna try and do as much damage as we can. I'm not debuffed this time, right? I didn't take a Rock Tomb from Cradily, so I am able to throw the second Swift here against this Galarian Wheezing. My Dragon Breaths being double resisted are so tough. Not gonna worry about a Protect Shield here, of course. Brutal Swing connects, and they actually, I don't have a shield. Brutal Swing connects, and they actually get the full farm down, which is a little bit tough. Bringing in the Gastrodon now. I believe I missed a Mud Slap, but I looked away from the screen. And coming back with the Pangoro, I'm gonna just YOLO this Earth Power. If this connects, this might actually turn the tide of the game. Oh, but they shield. Gonna go to Lapras now. If they close combat debuff themselves, and I think we still give ourselves a chance, gonna throw the Charge Attack now into the Pangoro. Again, Surf instead of Sparkling Aria, but it does do a lot of damage. Opponent is gonna leave very minimal farm for the Gastrodon, which makes a lot of sense. Close combat does connect. It's not enough to KO, and this actually might be worse because it means that this Wheezing can farm down. Oh, and they're barely able to do it after just 2 Fairy Winds. If this is Brutal Swing and Sludge, I think we might be able to hang on. We survived the first one there, which is really nice. Trying to get to a Mud Slap down against this Galarian Wheezing. And Brutal Swing connects. Gastrodon, was able to get to the Body Slam at the very last moment, which is really, really nice for us. Big win there. We beat the Galarian Wheezing, which we were not able to do in the last game, so very, very happy about that. Next battle, fantastically, they lead Steelix. They go now into Golisopod. So again, when you're a dragon type, you think you can come in, you can counter water, you can counter bug. This Pokemon is both, so let's see what we can do against it. That Charge Attack did connect and deal significant damage. Gonna build up some energy, but this Golisopod is just so fast. I realize that I need to shield if I want to get off the second Charge Attack and maintain switch. I do not want Steelix against Lapras, so obviously we're gonna try to do exactly that. Swift does connect this time. Dragon Breaths go through and we get the knockout. The downside is that this Steelix is now going to be able to Thunder Fang through our Drampa, and it's going to deal a lot of damage over time. I built up to the Fly. I guess the Swift is double resisted, right, by Steel. So at this point, I just want to get off as much damage as I can. Gonna throw the Swift into this Steelix to try and chip it down. It does deal a lot of damage. Dragon Breath, though, is double resisted. The opponent banks up so much energy. I'm able to throw a one last parting Swift into the Clefable. It's going to deal some good chip damage, and then I'm going to go to the Lapras. Now, it's all up to Gastrodon at this point. If this Clefable does have Medium Mash, for example, this is going to hurt, so I'm going to shield up. It's just a Moonblast. Either way, it would have been a pretty effective move, but I need to preserve health on the Lapras. I'm going to go for the YOLO Skull Bash, right? I figure if I Skull Bash here, I can probably get to 2 Sparkling Arias. If I throw the Sparkling Aria, I might only be able to get to 2 total. So I want to get off as many Charge Attacks as possible. Moonblast does connect. It doesn't do that much damage, actually, and I'm able to fast swap into Gastrodon. Okay, now we are cooking. Now we've got some footing in this battle. Steelix is going to throw a second Charge Attack, probably going to be another Breaking Swipe because it had so much energy. Going to throw the Psychic Fangs, actually, which is fine. And you can see the damage difference in Ultra League. Our Mud Slaps are actually not doing that much. In Great League, you would see them chunking down, but in Ultra League, everything is bulkier, of course. Going to throw 3 Mud Slaps into the Body Slam. This is going to be resisted by the Steelix. However, yeah, it's still not enough. We get off 1 more Mud Slap, and that's enough to knock out. Coming in now with the Lapras, I'm so heavily debuffed with the Gastrodon that I wanted to swap it out and clear those debuffs before I fire off energy. But that also gives this Clefable a chance to overcharge. So I need to be very careful. Cannot quite get to the Charge Attack component. Great timing there to throw right before I'm ready. But it's just the Swift. And now I'm able to get off the Sparkling Aria. Opponent realizes they cannot get it done, and we're able to win that battle. Next game, Venusaur. Awful, terrible lead, of course. I'm gonna swap into Drampa. You could argue I could have gone into the Lapras there, but we're met by the Guzzlord, which is a pretty fascinating pick. Dragon Claw might actually KO us, so I'm actually gonna shield here with the Drampa. I get off a couple more Dragon Breaths, go for the Swift. I think I can get 2 Swifts now that I've shielded the first Dragon Claw. Oh, it's gonna be close. Yeah, I'm able to get 2 Swifts. This actually is gonna hurt this Guzzlord quite a bit, and they decided to double shield, which is a great news for us. I get 2 Mudslaps through as well, which is really primo. You love to see that when you actually get your fast attack when you come in after a KO. Crunch does connect. I'm looking for a big Mudslap down. 3, 4, able to get it, which is huge for our Gastrodon. Gonna Earth Power this Venusaur, and I deny the Vine Whip as well, so double super effective damage negated. Instant swap, of course, into Lapras after the defense drop, and the opponent's got a Golisopod. So I do feel like I've got a good chance to win this game. Frenzy Plant's going to do the most damage here, so I'm not going to shield on my Lapras against Golisopod, but I am going to try to get to that Skull Bash as quickly as I can. A little bit of poor timing by me. I think I let a Shadow Claw through, but since I'm triggering the buff, it should not make that much of a difference. Opponent gets to another charge attack here. They might get to a 3rd charge attack, but I'm confident after the defense increase, I will be able to withstand it. I'm getting a little bit low though, so it's going to be a little bit treacherous. Hopefully I can side wave down, right? Oh, the swap is ready. Oh, we pull the counter swap into Gastrodon against the Venusaur, and they throw energy, which is huge, huge, massive for us here. Frenzy Plant connects. Lapras, 1 single side wave into the charge attack. In this instance is a Surf. Not enough to pick up the KO, but can we side wave down? Oh, yes. And then 1 more. Come on, there we go, Lapras. 1 more Surf to get the knockout here against the Golisopod. And we're gonna tie this matchup nicely with a bow, right? All right, everybody, last battle of the video. We've got a Zygarde on the opposing side. This is a really, really tough Pokemon for this team to deal with. Obviously, we don't have Ice Beam on Lapras. Our Drampa looks like it's gonna fold against any other dragon that we come up against, so we need to put in work with our Gastrodon, our 3rd option here. Earth Power does connect, and the defense falls as well. We're gonna counter swap into our Lapras to catch this charge attack from the Zygarde. It is just a crunch. But it does trigger the defense fall, which is really tough for us. I'm just hoping that once I build to the Ice Beam, my opponent gets a little bit nervous, shakes in their boots a little bit, and they swap out. Opponent is not switching, which is a little bit tricky for us. They're gonna throw another charge attack here, and I've got so much energy on Lapras now, I am willing to invest the shield. Crunch does get shielded up. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more energy. I think I went for 5 side waves and then the Surf here. I think this will finally be enough to KO the Zygarde, and it is. I've got a Skull Bash loaded. I only get to 1 charge attack, so I'm going to go for it here against the opposing Gastrodon. This is a really nice turn of events as well, because we're able to control switch and deal a ton of damage to the opposing Gastrodon. Coming now, oh, actually they counter swap, and there we go. We've got our Gastrodon lined up against the Galarian Weezing, and then our Drampa to deal with the Gastrodon in the back. So kudos to the opponent for running Gastrodon on their team. However, I do think that the alignment is gonna pay off huge for us. Gonna go ahead and shield up this Brutal Swing because we already are taking a ton of damage. So 1 single Mud Slap into the Body Slam. I'm gonna try to do that 1 more time. For every Mud Slap, your opponent's gonna get 2 Fairy Winds, and if it's only 4 Fairy Winds to the Brutal Swing, that means that they're going to have it right there. Super, super fast, but I think we might be able to live this. Oh, and we do. Gonna throw, oh, but a great swap by them as well, recognizing that they could get back to their Gastrodon and catch this Body Slam. So that might actually be the end of the game for us if we cannot get to double Swifts here. So Drampa might get its revenge against the Fairy type. Earth Power does connect, takes a ton of damage. Ooh, I'm gonna throw 1 Dragon Breath and this. Oh, I'm just gonna straight up try to deny. I thought I was gonna throw 1 Dragon Breath, but we don't want any Fairy Wind sneaking through. Can we get to a second one though? Drampa, come on! Oh, it just barely fails to get there, and then the Galarian Weezing is able to throw this charge attack into the Gastrodon. So a little bit of a sad ending, just like it was for Falcor in the Never-Ending Story, but still a very, very fun Pokemon to try. Again, I do not recommend you use Drampa. I don't think it's a great Dragon-type Pokemon. I don't even think it's a particularly good Dragon-type Pokemon, but I wanted to give it a shot in the Ultra League. So if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, drop a comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.